everybody, welcome to C3, where every week I have the opportunity to sit down with some incredible guests and talk about some real life issues that are happening in our real world, in our real lives, in our real homes, and sometimes in our real hearts. And today, I'm super excited to have the one and only Jody O'Brien here with us. Jody is an amazing lady. She's been a longtime friend of my wife, Lisa. They have a great relationship, and they've been a part of the bridge. Her and her family have been part of the bridge for as long as I've been here, Jody. But how much has it been longer than that? I'm not sure.
10 years.
10 years. So you got me by 2 years.
Yeah, my middle child was 3 months old when we started going.
Yeah. Wow. So there you go. So Jody is here to talk about something that I think all of us are experiencing and would like to pretend that we're not. And it's the reality of the COVID-19. And Jody, I've been talking about the COVID-19 has nothing to do with sickness, but has everything to do with the amount of pounds I've gained in the last 14 weeks. I feel like I've eaten everything in sight and just constantly want comfort food, and have, grabbed every bag of chips, every cookie, every, whatever I can find, drinking calories, which I never do. It's bad. So Jody, I'm thankful that you're here to be able to talk about this, because you are a personal trainer. And how long have you been doing that?
I've actually been personal training for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been a long time. I've seen lots of trends and fads, and when I started training 20 years ago, I never ever thought that we would experience something like we are today, and how we had to move everything online. So yeah, 20 years.
Wow. And you've been doing it personally or privately, like that whole time, or were you associated with gyms, or how did that work for you?
Yeah. So when I started 20 years ago, I was training people in gyms, and I did group fitness as I started. But then as I progressed, I did personal training through gyms. But the more I progressed in my career and the more I grew as an individual, I realized that gyms weren't necessarily, like these big box places weren't necessarily what I wanted, and they weren't necessarily where I felt comfortable or needed. So fast forward 10 years, I then started to branch out, and I started a boot camp outside, which was super phenomenal, because you get the benefits of exercise and you get the benefits of nature and being outside in community. And then since then, I've also, once my kids have all started school, I opened a personal training studio in my home. So now I do one-on-one training in my house, so
Wow.
More individual, and I still do the outdoor boot camp.
Yeah. Okay. So funny story. So 8 years ago, before I moved here, Lisa and I were online dating, if you will. I don't know what to call it, but I was better looking then. But anyways, we were online dating, and I can remember waiting for Lisa to call after she would get done at boot camp. She used to go to boot camp with you, loved it, raved about it, still says that was the days she was in the best shape of her life. Like, she absolutely lived for those sessions. Tell me a little bit about what it is it about that kind of environment, that kind of atmosphere, about what you do, like what joy, or where does it come from? Like, what is it about it that you love so much?
That's a good one. What do I love about it the most? One thing that I have always tried to do throughout my career is make fitness fun. As adults, we have so many things that we have to do. We have chores and to-do lists, and people feel like, oh, I have to add exercise onto there. Like, it's like a have to do thing. But when you take it from something you have to do to something you want to do, that is a game changer. And so I've always tried to make fitness fun, and especially with my group classes, that sense of community, right? You empower, especially because I work mainly with women now, we empower each other. Where were you on Monday night? I missed you, those kind of things. So yes, fitness and being, getting in shape is the key to what I do, but making it something that we want to do is a very powerful thing, because then it goes from not only your body physically, but it's like a mind, body, and soul, right?
Yeah.
It becomes that thing that completes you.
Right. So it sounds like you and I are in a very similar line of work then.
It's funny, I've actually, since I've been going to the Bridge and since I've known Lisa, there's often so many similarities between the church and my business. So yeah, it's neat.
Yeah,
I've noticed that.
it's funny because, you know, we often find, especially in church world, that there's this sentiment like where I have to go to church because I call myself a Christian. I have to go to church, not it's somewhere necessarily I want to be or somewhere I necessarily feel like I get something from. But it's more this, you know, I have to go thing. And yeah, we too want to break that wall down.
And it's amazing. That's what worked for my family. It was something fun. We got to, you know, hear great sermons, and we got to meet friends, like not only myself, but my kids would be like so excited to go, you know, to see Lisa and whatever group they like the VBS program. Like that is something that they want to do, not something that they have to do. And you're right, that's what goes from just being a Christian to being involved in the church and making it your life, right?
Yeah. So if with the similarities in mind, then, so I have another question, and I'm going to see if I can unpack it the right way based on what you said. I don't know if it's this is unscripted, by the way, for those of you that are tuning in. This is not scripted. We don't have we didn't plan this out. This is just we're just sitting down, having some coffee, having a chat about some real life stuff. And this thing is.
Some of us are having power drinks.
Okay. Sorry. But okay, so for me in church world and in my role and leadership and all that stuff, and trying to help people, you know, spiritually, and understand that our lives aren't compartmentalized, though we act as though they are, right? There's the entertainment me, there's the job me, there's home me, there's you know, there's all these different areas of who I am, but we're not really that way. Everything is connected. But one of the things that comes for me with people as I engage with them at church is they often say, like, I want to have a deeper relationship with God, but I don't know how. Like, I know I want it. And so they might try to do some things that I would say, oh, well, I can point you in a better direction maybe to try to help you. So take that and then say, so people come to the church and then they might not know what to do even though they want it. I've been to the gym and I've seen people who clearly know what they're doing. And then I've seen people at the gym who clearly don't know what they're doing, but are giving it everything they've got. Right? Like, and it's almost like, I'm like, I don't know that that's actually helping you, what you're doing right now. You actually might hurt yourself. And so I think like the role that you play is really like a pastor of fitness, really. Like it's a guiding, it's a coaching, it's a teaching. Is that something you've always been, or is that something you've grown into, or what is that like for you?
That's a good question. Have I always been? I think it's probably changed with my experience and my age, probably. Like when I was 20, I wasn't as you know, confident maybe, and I wasn't as experienced. But as time has transitioned, I would say that I have become a more confident in my leadership skills and in my coaching abilities. You know, also the courses, like I just finished studying a course called the Behavior Change Specialist. So, you know, anybody can exercise, but coaching a person to exercise sometimes isn't just the exercise. Like going back to that person at the gym who's just like rocking it out, doing their own thing, and you're like, I'm not sure about that. Yeah. But they're probably having more fun than the person who's like, I gotta do this, you know? So yeah, it's probably twofold for me with the courses that I've taken and life experiences and age has made me a better coach. You know, when I was 20, I could spend 3 hours at a gym and that was okay. As a mom of 3, I literally have 30 minutes, like just make it happen. And I'm probably in better shape now than I was when I spent 3 hours at a gym. So yeah, coaching, life experiences, and like courses, that's all helped me throughout the years to be a better leader and a better coach. Yeah.
Okay, so you caught me with something you just said there, and I gotta go back here. So you just said, if I heard you right, that
this kind of scares me.
You've only been able to do maybe 30 minutes because of your lifestyle and age and stage, yet you feel like you're probably in better shape now than when you could have spent more time doing it then. Because I think, forgive me if I'm wrong, and you would know better, I think most people, if they're like me, say, I don't have the time to invest in my health, or I don't have time to stay in shape, or I'm always busy. And so you've lived that life, but yet it's still a priority for you. So what about that? And what are some of the other common hurdles or whatever that you've experienced as you've interacted with people over the years? Like, what are the common things that most everybody says is the reason why they can't, commit to their physical health?
Oh, that's a good one. Time. People are always, I don't have time. And it's very ironic because when this isolation period first hit, all of a sudden people had time, and people, like in my neighborhood, you saw people walking more. You saw, multiple fitness stores, and they were running out of weights. My girlfriend works at Sport Check, and she said, like, the dumbbells were just flying off the shelves. People are ordering them online. And now I've seen, so time has always been the big thing, and we were given time because all of a sudden people didn't have to commute to work, didn't have to do things. And it was great because people were reconnecting probably, with their faith, and they were also connecting with their fitness and their families, right? And now that we've kind of adjusted into this new norm, you don't, like in my neighborhood, I don't see the same number of people exercising, or, I had a few people starting my boot camp and they're like, oh, now I'm working at home, I just don't have time. Well, right. What changed? You're still working you're not commuting. So time has always been the biggest excuse, maybe, that you don't work out. But you know what? It always strikes me because I always say, well, how much time do you spend on your phone, right? Because we can sit and like scan social media for like 10 minutes and not even.
What you're talking about.
Blink your eye, right?
I don't know no, not me.
What? You said what?
Yeah.
So yeah, time is the biggest thing. That's the biggest reason why people don't exercise. And that I've noticed that, and I've read research on that. But we just don't make the time, right? It's kind of like flossing your teeth. We are all supposed to floss our teeth. It literally takes less than a minute. But, we just want to go to bed or whatever, so we don't. It's you literally have to make the time.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, so time is a big one. So again, back to the parallels. I think this is fascinating, the parallels between physical health and spiritual health and overall health, because again, we're connected. But like and you, again, in your experience, you may be able to speak to this more, but like, I feel like in Christian circles and church world, many times that people are apathetic towards faith and their pursuit of God himself, rather than it being a category, until such a time as like, I need him now. Like, something's happened, my marriage has fallen apart, my finances have fallen apart, my kids are wayward, I'm stressed out, like there's something's happened, somebody's sick, and now all of a sudden, like, that crisis brings me back to God. And then in the same token, it's like, well, where was, like, he was here the whole time, but now you have more of a heightened sense of need. And the same thing, I'm guessing, and you, again, forgive me if I'm wrong, but like, people don't have the time, but then they go to the doctor and the doctor says, look, if you don't do such and such, you're in trouble. And then all of a sudden they make the time.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that? What is that?
100%. 100%. I've seen that so many times over the years. Yeah. Or, often because I now work a lot with women, women have babies and then all of a sudden they have 3 kids and they haven't, taken care of themselves. And then somebody takes a picture of them and they see their picture, that sometimes it's not just going to the doctor. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think of that. Right. And it's kind of the same thing. What we were saying a little while ago is when church or fitness, is not just something that you have to do and you want to do, right? Like when we started going to the bridge, we only went to the bridge on Sundays and we would do our thing and then we would come home. But then, slowly we started introducing, saying grace before our dinner. And so, I find those people who, get some kind of bad news and then all of a sudden they're like 2 feet in, they're like, they have to do it.
Sure.
That is good, but if you can slowly introduce it to your life, it's much better, right? Because it's easy to do 5 minutes than it is to do an hour, right? It's to go to church on Sunday and, not that we don't want to remember it the rest of the week, but it takes time to build a relationship. And it takes time to build your fitness level, right? So yes, often it does happen where it's something unfortunate kind of news and all of a sudden, bang, you have to, but you can still transition yourself into it.
Right. Well, you have, a very fascinating job, because I know it's kind of like you're pushing people. You're not pushing people for something you want for them necessarily. You're just trying to push them to what they want, right? Like it's the same thing. Like I want people to have a relationship with God because God loves them and wants a relationship with them. Not that I get anything out of it. But what are some of the things that you've seen over the years that have made you be like, this is why I do this? Like, I'm sure you've got a zillion stories of people that came to you, like a woman who, saw the picture of herself and just cried, like, what happened to me? I had that the other day. I'm like, I saw myself on camera, on video for church on Sunday morning. I'm like, COVID-19, I gotta get in shape, man. Like that shirt doesn't fit right anymore. Like, so I've had those moments in my own life, but you've experienced them a lot. And so you've got stories. Like, what are some of the things that have kept you going for 20 years doing what you do?
That's great. So yes, I've helped, multiple women. There's 2 in particular that stand out. Like they lost over 60 pounds and, that was so amazing. Like I was so proud to be part of that journey with them. But honestly, it's just when I hear, like last week, I got a text from somebody who, she started training during the COVID-19 with me. And she's like, I actually want to log in and do this. Like, it's a really weird feeling, knowing that I want to do this. She'd never done a group class before. And so she has the comfort of her home, but she can still move. Like, yeah, it's more what I find really empowering is those women or people. It's not, when they make it part of their life and it's fun, making it part of their daily life. Like, or when you see, a mom who's all of a sudden going out and buying bikes with her family, like the whole family is going for a bike ride, or I don't know, when I see people's lifestyle changing, that is very empowering. I worked with women who were told that they had to take antidepressants and they most likely were going to have to take them for the rest of their lives. And then all of a sudden, the more they exercise, they lessen their medications. And then before you know it, if they've been working out for a long time, they go off the medications altogether and they can cope with their own, depression, or, they come out of that with fitness and exercise. Or there's so many different things, when you know, when I see a mom and her daughter coming together to work out, like that is like, oh, that's so, you know, it's not just like something mom's going to do, because as parents, I know Parker's not quite there yet, but you know, we drive our kids to, I drive 2 kids to hockey. I drive another to competitive cheer. Like our Saturday mornings before this were like insane. Like Steve and I would tag each other on the way out the door. Yeah, like crazy. And so when I see parents not only taking their kids to the sports, but they actually have, you know, their kid with them, or sometimes, you know, I do videos and Lisa's a prime example. She's like, I put Parker down and I went and did that 20 minutes. Or, you know, I know some parents are like, they have their toddlers in the room and they're like sending me pictures of them working out. Like when it's a life thing and not just a have to do thing, I think that's what empowers me the most. And there's all different fashions of that, right? Yeah. Just like there's all different personal relationships with, you know, being a Christian and being engaged. Like it looks different to everybody. Sure. But the main goal is the same, right? Like I just want people to be healthy and fit, and that looks different to everybody. And so, yeah, I could take, there's not one particular way that I like to, that empowers me. I feel like there's so many different ones that's hard to answer.
No, that's cool. No, I get it. So funny. So you've been doing personal training and helping people, you know, achieve their fitness goals or their lifestyle goals. You know, you've been doing that for 20 years. I too, this is my 20th year in ministry. And it's crazy. I don't know where 20 years.
Possible. We're so young.
I know. It's like 20 years. Where did it go? And over the years in my role, you know, you have to, you know, there's a lot of, what's the word I would use? There's a lot of things that you have to break down or feel like you have to break down in either people's experience, or, you know, they might have heard something from someone that they say, oh, well, the Bible says that. And you're like, well, actually it doesn't. Or they have these self-imposed like ideas. And so you kind of try to work within that and really reveal what the scriptures say and all that kind of stuff. So in one way I kind of relate to it, but I wonder for you, you've seen so many trends over the last 20 years, fads, you know, 1 minute bacon's good for you and the minute it's not. And I don't know if bacon ever was really good for you, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like, now this thing is like the thing that you're supposed to eat and not this, and like apple cider vinegar you should have every day. And I tried that and like about died. So you've seen all these things. What are the things that you would want people to know? Like, break down all the myths. Like, if you were to say to somebody, look, this is the bottom line. Like, weed out all the noise, every health magazine, they all say this, they all say that. But really at the end of the day, what is it that you would want people to believe about fitness?
About being healthy and fit, the biggest thing is there's no quick fix. And, you know, for instance, right now with nutrition, because exercise and nutrition really go hand in hand. You know, people think if I try this keto diet, you know, that's going to be the game of all, like that's going to happen. But keto is exactly what Atkins was, I think, 10 years ago. Like, it's protein based, right? So you got to make things doable, right? Like, if you hate running, but you hear running is the way to get fit, well, you're not going to love running instantly, right? Like, so you got to make it fun, and you got to make it, you know, balanced. You know, any diet or any exercise that people are like, this is the only way to do it. Usually I get my back up right away because it's balanced. Like, the more people are told you can only run to get fit, or you can only lift weights to get muscle, if you can only eat protein, like, then you're going to want to do all of the other things.
You really
Too
are.
much of anything
you really
is
are.
not great, right? So even if you were told bacon is the only way, and bacon, you're going to eat only bacon, you're eventually going to get sick of bacon, right? Like,
it'll take a
you
while,
gotta
but
make
yeah.
it balanced. Yeah, balance and fun, I think, is the key, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you're so right. Like,
because everybody's always going to want ice cream, and everybody's always going to want bacon.
I know, right? Like, it's tough. Like, I think you're right. Like, that there's so many, the dream for the quick fix, right? And like, I only got to do this for 10 days, or like all this stuff, and I'm like, it didn't take me 10 days to get here. So it's not going to take me 10 days to get away from here, right? Like, but you're definitely, wanting people to play the long game, but incrementally, to grow into it. And I think that's a cool thing. So listen, I know for everybody who's watching.
That's the thing about fitness. Oh, sorry, can I just say one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
Fitness is totally quick fix, right? Like, do this and in 30 days, but it's really not. It's more than that. And I think that's what, if you look at my website, my social media posts, I'm really not your norm. I don't market like most other fitness companies. And, I started my boot camp in September 2010, and I still have some ladies that are still coming. Like, I have new ones, but that's the thing is, it's a lifestyle, you don't automatically change. It's built over time.
Well, that's for sure. I think in the last 10 years, I've tried, like, I grew up playing basketball and played on high school teams, college teams, and was really active and could eat whatever I wanted. And then once I moved away from that lifestyle, I just kind of was like, I kept up the same everything else, but not the exercise. And it was like, tank. And then now I've tried just about, I think, every fad. I've done P90X, and I did that for about, I think it's a 90-day program. I think I did it for like 9 days. I've done like, drink this, don't drink that, eat that, don't eat that, and done everything. And I'm not a person, like, I get bored really quickly. So I could never stick with the fad long enough to see if it actually worked. So, because it was never really fun for me, which is why I think your job is so unique and so important, because, left to my own devices, I don't know that I have, and maybe other people do, but I don't have the willpower to fight over those moments where I'm like, nah, I don't feel like it today. Yeah. And that's where you come in, right?
But you wouldn't let, say, Emma or Parker just sit in front of a TV all day. You would make them go outside and exercise. You wouldn't just load them up all the time with caffeine and junk food. You make sure that they eat healthy when they're with you, right? Like, so I always often, especially for parents, I would say, if you're going to do it with your kids, then it's good for you. If you're not going to do that for your kids, then it's probably not good for you.
That's good advice right there. That's a retweet right there. No, because I think even like that's a great thing in all areas of life, right? Like, it's kind of like, it's like we watch these shows after the kids go to bed, and it's like, what, like what, like, so, I get, there's certain limits to every illustration, but that's a really good point. I think that's really wise. Yeah, because with kids you do moderation. Right? You'll take them out on the weekend for an ice cream. You're not saying never have an ice cream again. You're not saying don't ever, have fries. Like, I don't want to stop living my life, but I want to live more of it. Right? So I think what we're talking about here is part of it.
Especially now, right? Like, we've had to reassess everything that's important to us the last few months, I feel like. And yeah, that's the basis of it all, right? We've had this kind of time, it's been difficult, during the whole pandemic, and we've had to readjust what our normal is, but it's a great time to kind of think about all those things that you're not doing that you could be doing, or that you are doing and you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. And we did a thing a number of weeks ago at the church where kind of the big takeaway I'm trying to focus on this myself, not just tell other people to, but like, not ask the question, when will this be over, but who will I be when this is over? Like what are the things that I'm reassessing and reevaluating? What are the things I'm reprioritizing now that I'm not going to go back on, and I'm going to make sure I don't? Like, who am I going to be on the other side of it? So I think that's cool, Jody. Yeah. So One of the things, for those of you that are tuned in and listening, and you're either live with us or maybe you're watching this later on YouTube, we're so glad that you're checking this out, because this is important, not just in the midst of, the pandemic, but it's just in life in general. And I know that everybody has, room to grow in these areas, and recognizing that physical health isn't just about your physical health, that everything is connected. And I know you believe that, Jody, but can you unpack that more? Because I think you are better suited to talk about what you believe about fitness and where it fits in the overall health. I know you're passionate about that.
Yeah, overall, like, we have one body, one life to live. Like, we want to treat it well, and we want to have fun with it. Make it enjoyable, and make it I can't remember where I was going on that. So, like, make it fun, make it enjoyable. We have this one life to live, and we've learned over the last few minutes that things can quickly change. So just be proud, do things that make yourself proud and make you, if this was it, that, I've done my best. I always tell my kids, do your best and let God do the rest, So God doesn't, whether it's God or, we want to make sure that we are healthy, and that looks different for everybody. So just do your best at being healthy and making it part of your lifestyle, and the rest all kind of fits in after that.
And your level of fitness or your investment into that component of your life impacts every other component of your life. Would you agree?
Yeah. It's funny because if you read all of the studies about COVID and isolation, they say that it takes away mental clarity. It decreases your energy and decreases your moods. And if you exercise 20 minutes a day, you get more energy. You have more mental focus and clarity. Like, honestly, if somebody Googles right now all of what isolation does to you, you can quickly Google up what exercise does for you, and they counterbalance. So now more than ever is the time to start a fitness program. Maybe that's just walking 10 minutes a day, and maybe that's adding another 10 minutes onto your workout that you're already doing. That looks different for everybody, but you're right. It helps you, with your job. It helps you with I'm a much happier person after I work out. Sometimes my kids are like, Mom, just go, do your thing, because I'm a happier person. I'm a lot more confident meeting people because I exercise. And I've heard, people say, oh, I went for this job interview that I never thought I could. But part of it is because they've started exercising. They stand taller, they feel better. And so, if you spend most of your day sitting at a desk, you need to move. You need to do it for your health, for everybody around you.
No, I couldn't agree more. 100%. Lisa and I have both said that over the years. Like, we can definitely see the difference in our countenance, in our mood, in our effectiveness, our energy level, like when we are or haven't been exercising consistently. Like, there's a definite, even the way that we, interact with one another, we're less edgy, we're more optimistic. It's not just about how many sit-ups I can do. It really is about, it affects every area of your life, even the sleeping, stress, all that kind of stuff. So it's for those reasons and so many others, Jody, that I'm so thankful to have this conversation with you, and thankful that anybody's, listening to this at all. And so again, this is with Jody O'Brien from Kick It Up Fitness. And she's an awesome follow on Instagram. She got a shirt going on there. I don't know, do you got dudes ones, the pink? But Jody's been personal fitness coaching for 20 years. Awesome person, a lot of fun. Always love your energy. And so when I talked to Jody about this offline, I was asking, recognizing in church where where we used to joke years ago. We used to say that the church was good for two things: gossip and gluttony. That the church was the best place for gossip and potluck dinners. Like, it's just those two things we did real well. So we did them together. We had a potluck so we could eat and gossip. But really, I think we're seeing a shift, thankfully, in both those areas as we try to become more like Christ. And so what we wanted to do, and Jody has been so gracious about this, is we wanted to provide a practical opportunity for you to just get moving, to just get started, and to do everything we can to help you eliminate maybe some of the hurdles, some of the excuses, some of the things that you've told yourself that aren't true for months or maybe even years, some of us decades. And so Jody has been as busy as she is, and her heart's desire is to help people. And so she wants to come alongside our church and to provide some opportunity for you, even though you can't go to a gym and there's still all these, regulations and things about how we're going to do certain things. Jody has put in some back end heavy lifting, if you will, some hard work and heart work to provide something. And so Jody, I'm going to let you talk about that a little bit. I know I'm excited about it. I know we're still figuring out all the specifics, but we pretty much have an idea that rather than just doing one like bridge boot camp and having, every, 600 people of all different levels of fitness, you're more wanting to, be the coach that you are. So tell us a little bit about your ideas.
So what I'm super excited about, kind of what Scott and I were talking about earlier, is it has to be to your level and it has to be fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 1 week where we start with level 1 or beginner maybe exercises, and we will do that. So we'll have 3 exercises in 1 week that is for your beginner level. And so that is like this person who, knows that they should be working out, but they have no idea where to start, haven't done it in 100 years. Or maybe, you're have some kids and they want to do something fun. So like a level 1 beginner type workout. We'll do 3 workouts 1 week, and the idea, I think, is to have it live, but we will also record it. So if you can't log in at the time that it is on, then you can still access it after, and you could do it as many times as you want. Then the next time we will do 3 workouts for your intermediate. So maybe somebody who has been to a gym, but since this whole COVID and life, haven't had the chance or the opportunity. So kind of familiar with body movements and maybe squats or push-ups or that kind of thing. And we'll do 3 workouts, and same thing, it will be live, but we'll record it, so if you miss it, you can do it anytime. And then we'll have the third set where it's more advanced, somebody who has a gym membership, maybe a little bit of equipment, and they can get the 3 workouts live, or we'll watch them after and do them at their own time. So the good thing is you can be doing them on time live, or you can do them whenever your schedule suits. So you can do them as many times as you want. You can even watch it and think, can I do that, or will I do that? There's many options, and all the workouts are going to be 30 minutes long. So enough to get our bodies moving. We need 150 minutes of exercise per week, they say, as an adult. So you could get a good base on that and, move on from there. So, yeah.
Okay, so a couple, man, that was, you might need to rewind that last section just where Jody was talking there, because there's some really good stuff in there. So 150, you said this to me on the phone the other day, 150 minutes a week.
Yeah. Which basically, if you do 20 minutes a day, you've gotten it in.
Yeah, like so you're not talking like this idea that I have to spend 2 hours a day or I don't have the time. Like, I mean, we burn 30 minutes doing next to nothing, right? So, I mean, it's really a matter of prioritizing and consistency. And Jody, something else you said that I think in our previous conversation as we were talking about this idea, I think that's really important is, what would you say to the person who's like, I'll do that, I'll watch that on my own time, as opposed to joining it when it's on live? I mean, that isn't for your benefit. You believe it's for their benefit, for them to tune in live. Now tell me why that, and tell everybody why that is.
You know, we have so many things to do. We have places to be. Well, not as many places to be lately,
Yeah.
but you know, you can always say, I'll do that tomorrow. You can always say, oh, that, you know, I will do that. But unless you actually make it happen, put in your calendar and do it, it's not going to happen. So it's really nice to have the, you know, see it live and, you know, grab your family, do it together. You know, this is what we're going to do. And since parents are staying home right now to, you know, doing their online courses, classes with their kids, like, it's gym time. Let's make this happen. If you have time, you will do it. I mean, there's definitely people who are super motivated and they know they want it and they will do it anytime. But if you can log in live, it's better. The time is set for you. Tomorrow, you don't have to worry about it because you're going to do it that day. So definitely making the time and doing it live is key. So if you can, that's great. But obviously, all of our schedules are wonky, so the option is still there.
Yeah. I think for all of us that feel like, and myself included, who've just kind of got into a rhythm or a routine of life, and in some ways a rut where I very quickly, that's my physical fitness is and health is the thing that I will put off to the side and prioritize other things above it. So I think, like, you know, what you're saying is having the accountability of, I need to do this, and this is the time that it's going to be on. I need to be there. Like, it's, again, it's not for your benefit or mine. It's for the person's benefit who's trying to create and establish this new rhythm, right? And it's funny, like, as you said about our schedules, like, even for us to have this conversation, like, how many times did we talk? Oh yeah, we'll connect. And until we said Tuesday, and, you know, like, it just didn't happen. And now here we are, right? So I think there's definitely something to that. And I'm really excited about your willingness to help me and help others become more focused in this area. Because I do think, again, it will impact every area of our lives. And God didn't create us in a spiritual bubble and doesn't, you know, disregards all the other, we are in his image, and it all interconnects. And so we need to seek, you know, physical fitness, mental fitness, or health, emotional health, spiritual health. Like, it's all connected. So thank you, Jody, so much for your investment in all of us. And we're really looking forward to it. Does it matter if I wear Speedos, or is there certain gym attire for?
There's certain outfit, no Speedos.
Okay.
Well, I won't, but, you know, just comfy clothes, you know, something that you would probably go around the block in, you know what I mean? Not, jeans can be a little bit restricting, but any active wear that you have, and a pair of running shoes. If you have a yoga mat, that's great, but if you don't worry about it, because when I put the workouts together, it's going to be things around your house. So yes, some of us have all these weights, but I'm going to talk you through, if you don't have weights, you're going to go grab like that jug of vinegar, or, you know, a backpack stuffed with stuff. There's all sorts of things around our house that we can use to be fit. So let's just start with, you know, setting up at your screen, in your running shoes and some athletic wear, and you're good to go. Awesome.
Well, listen, so what we want you to know is this is coming on the horizon. Jody's putting the final, you know, pieces together to make this available and accessible. So as soon as we're ready to do that, we will definitely let you know where to log in. Of course, this is over the computer. It's online. It'll be accessible in a Zoom format. We'll get you all the details, but please stay tuned for that. Again, this is something that Jody is partnering with us to be able to do for you. It's free. Just come and do the courses live, so you can get, see how they go and how they work. And then from there, you can access them to get in the routine of doing them ongoing. If you haven't or aren't, would love for you to check out Jody's Facebook page or her Instagram page. You can get more information there. Maybe you really want to go all in and connect with Jody about, her other training options. Would really encourage you to do that. I know Lisa has loved every moment of doing boot camp with Jody. And it's been a great, it's been a great part of her life and all those things. So stay tuned. We're going to have more information coming your way about when these classes will be available and accessible. It'll be really easy. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. There'll be nobody at the gym pointing at you. Just close the blinds and away you go. And this is for everybody of all ages. So if you're a senior, it's never too late. You can start right now. And that tier 1 Jody talked about would be great for you. If you're, at home mom, or you got some kids and you want to get them active and you want to go drink your coffee, just make them do it and you can watch them. No, do it with them. But you get the idea. It's for all of us. And she's putting together these 3 different tiers. And I know I'm going to do it. I'm sure Lisa and I will probably do it together. And so thanks, Jody. Anything else you want to say before I let you get on to your day?
I just want to say thank you. This is, we all need this. And so it's really amazing that we can come together as a church and do something like this. So I'm really looking forward to sweating it out with you and all the others.
Yeah, sweating it out and none of the stink. It's great. We don't have to smell each other. And just think right now, you can be working out, getting fit, and be ready. So when the doors of our building open up again, you can strut in here and show off the new you. It'll be great.
No COVID 15.
Yeah. Just like I got shredded during COVID. It's going to be great. But no, listen, this is great, Jody. Thanks so much. And give my best to Steve and the kids. And we'll look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Okay. Thank you. Say hi to
All right.
Lisa.
Bye for now.